What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, some interesting news has arose as it looks like we are going to get the fight that we anticipated getting between the Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion, superstar boxer, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who is 43 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 42 big wins by way of knockout. He is 37 years of age, 6'7" with an 83-inch arm reach. Looks like he's going to face off against former unified heavyweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Andy Ruiz Jr., who is 35 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 6'2" with a 74-inch arm reach, okay? It's ironic that Andy Ruiz Jr. is 6'2", and he has the same arm reach as 2 welterweights and 2 undefeated welterweights in Terrence Crawford and Jerome Buzinis. They both have 74-inch arms, right? Andy Ruiz is 6'2". They're 5'8" and 5'10". So it's safe to say Andy Ruiz doesn't have extremely long arms, okay? But it's also stated that this fight could take place Cinco de Mayo weekend, right? That's a huge risk. Huge risk, okay? For this fight to take place Cinco de Mayo weekend, okay? Huge risk because we know that 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who's currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered to be the face of the sport of boxing, top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, in Saul Canelo Alvarez, who's 58 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He historically fights on Cinco de Mayo weekend, as the torch was passed to him from now retired legendary iconic Hall of Fame superstar boxer, former pound-for-pound king, former pay-per-view king, 5-division world champion, the man known as Money, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Historically fought on Cinco de Mayo weekend and then Mexican Independence Day weekend, second weekend in September. Those are dates that Canelo Alvarez vowed to take back when he fought Floyd Mayweather, and he lost every single round to Floyd Mayweather. But in the build-up to that fight, he says that he wanted to take his Mexican dates back, right? He felt offended that Floyd Mayweather is an African-American fighter fighting on Mexican holidays. So he vowed to beat Floyd Mayweather and take those holidays and those dates back. Well, obviously that didn't work out. So and he tries to attempt to get 3 fights in. He would fight Cinco de Mayo weekend, Mexican Independence Day weekend, and then sometime in December, right? Get 3 fights in a year. So Canelo Alvarez, who recently fought Mexican Independence Day weekend, September 17th of this year, against his biggest rival, 3 times they fought, Trilogy, who is a middleweight, 2-time unified middleweight world champion, Gennady Triple G Golovkin. They fought in the Trilogy September 17th. So Canelo Alvarez is due to make his ring return more than likely Cinco de Mayo weekend. Now, the problem with this is that Canelo Alvarez is void of an opponent. Who's his opponent going to be? Seems like Canelo Alvarez is waiting for this Saturday's upcoming showdown between the guy who last beat him in undefeated light heavyweight WBA Russian superstar world champion in Dmitry Bivol, who's going to take on his mandatory in former WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Zordo Ramirez. Now, keep in mind that Canelo Alvarez, he vowed to never fight another Mexican fighter, but he do want his rematch with Dmitry Bivol. So if Dmitry Bivol is victorious this upcoming Saturday, tomorrow night, then Canelo Alvarez is going to fight against Dmitry Bivol, which is more than likely going to be Cinco de Mayo weekend. And Dmitry Bivol has stated that he doesn't mind coming down to 168. Okay, so he says he don't mind coming from 175 light heavyweight pound limit and he don't mind going down to 168, the super middleweight limit, to challenge Canelo. He's not a big guy. He's 6 foot tall, 72-inch arm. He's definitely not a big guy. He's actually smaller than Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. They're both bigger than Dimitri Bivol. So, but he has been carrying his weight. They're not in stature. They're not much bigger. I mean, they're bigger than him, but they just fight at a lower weight. Can he make the weight? He's willing to do so. So, Andy Ruiz, he created history. Andy Ruiz created history when he defeated former Olympic gold medalist, two-time unified heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua. Andy Ruiz, June 1st, 2019, Madison Square Garden, New York, New York. Andy Ruiz, he dropped Joshua 3 times and got the stoppage victory in the 7th round. Okay, so he created history. He became the first Mexican fighter to be a heavyweight world champion, and he did so becoming a unified heavyweight world champion, and he was a massive underdog, and he did it in the world's most famous arena in Madison Square Garden. So Andy Ruiz dramatically became the first Mexican fighter to be a heavyweight world champion, right? And so Andy Ruiz Jr. is a big deal for the Mexican fan base. Now, Andy Ruiz Jr. is coming off the second biggest win in his career, defeating Cuban heavyweight superstar title contender and Luis King Kong Ortiz. So Andy Ruiz, he defeated Luis King Kong Ortiz, dramatic fashion as well. Dropped Luis Ortiz 2 to 3 times in a fight, right? So he did so in dramatic fashion, Andy Ruiz did. Now, Deontay Wilder had brutally knocked out Luis Ortiz twice. They fought twice. He knocked him out twice. So they have that common foe in common. And so with that said, it's going to be a huge fight. This is a fight that has been in the making. When Andy Ruiz defeated Anthony Joshua, they both with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman, and it just seemed like it just made sense because Deontay Wilder was the WBC champion. Andy Ruiz was now the unified champion to fight for Undisputed under the same banner. But it didn't work out that way because Andy Ruiz had to honor his rematch clause with Anthony Joshua. So he fought Anthony Joshua in June. Then he rematched him in November of that year, and he lost. And he lost the titles. And then he went on a hiatus. He came in way out of shape, and the rest is history. He's building his career back up. But this Luis Ortiz fight for Andy Ruiz Jr. was very, very important. And, it was dramatic. It was beautiful performance by Andy Ruiz. And so, this fight has been building up. Can they pull it off? Maybe, but if Canelo Alvarez, who got a lot of flack and a lot of, he got a lot of flack and a lot of criticism for, fighting, saying he won't fight any more Mexican fighters. If he turns around and says, you know what, I'm going to fight Zordo Ramirez. Because now we know that Caleb Plant, who Canelo Alvarez beat for Undisputed, a former IBF super middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Caleb Plant is now, they announced yesterday that Caleb Plant is now going to fight undefeated 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, David Benavidez, in the early part of 2023. So it looks like it's going to take place in February or March of 2023. So we know Canelo Alvarez is not going to fight David Benavidez. So if he decides to rematch Dimitri Bivol, that's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a huge deal, a big deal, and if he does so in Cinco De Mayo weekend, because Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz Cinco De Mayo weekend is brilliant. It's genius in my opinion. You understand? I believe that that's genius and it's brilliant, right? Deontay Wilder is the most exciting fighter in boxing. Andy Ruiz has created history for the Mexican fan base, has a huge Mexican fan base. So it makes sense to put that fight on Cinco de Mayo weekend. But even if it's not Cinco de Mayo weekend, it should take place the weekend before Cinco de Mayo weekend, or the weekend, the weekend before. You don't want to follow up Canelo Alvarez. you want to go ahead of Canelo Alvarez. So, you know, that would make sense to stage that fight, you know, in and around that time. So this is, and it'll be super exciting. It's anticipated. You know, it's going to end in a knockout. So the fans would definitely welcome that fight. But the again, like I said, the issue is Canelo Alvarez going to fight on that date? More than likely he is. So more than likely we'll see this fight move to a different date. But let's see how it unfolds and plays out. I'm picking Deontay Wilder by knockout. Andrew Ruiz gets hit. He likes to fight at his pace. He throws combinations. He'll leave himself open. Deontay Wilder is great with fighters that are shorter than him, and he's punching downhill. He's moving great. So I think Deontay Wilder knocks out Andrew Ruiz. But it's an exciting fight. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.